Continuing developments in the DNA-based digital data storage technology promise us a sustainable techno-utopian future. It's regarded as a solution that would address the ever-increasing global data production and the inadequacies of conventional storage infrastructure to meet the demand. Our research motivation was to broaden the narratives around DNA data storage, engaging a wide audience outside of those who are already working around the technology, to get a sense of how they envisioned it in shaping our lives in the future. Through analysis of the Imaginaries, we wanted to gain an insight into how we could design storage systems that are socially sustainable and meaningful to people. We organized and ran a series of online workshops involving 15 participants. It was based around the fictional world building activity. The idea was to solicit grounded and plausible speculations on DNA data storage, to encourage imaginaries on how the technology may shape people's lives. We aim to gain an insight into people's hopes, fears, and expectations of DNA data storage, which could be translated into design implications for HCI. To help participants to initiate the speculation, we presented participants with a set of 6 signals around the technology, formulated from literature review. The fictional worlds were built in stages, through completion of 3 sets of short exercises. Following the workshop, we collated all the fictional worlds from the participants, as well as the discussions around their creations, and thematically analysed them through the social, cultural, and ethical lenses. And from generated themes, we mapped out what some of the design opportunities and challenges would be for HCI. Overall, 15 fictional worlds were generated and discussed. Our analysis generated 3 themes. First theme is called Molecular Realities are Fun. People expected to derive enjoyment from interacting with DNA on a molecular level. From collectible gaming cards embedded with DNA, a pervasive game challenging players to find hidden DNA outdoors, to Monopoly games that use DNA as currency, several participants imagined and discussed that the molecular realities that were created by the scale of the DNA molecules, physical yet invisible and intangible, would offer a rich environment for playful interactions to occur. The second theme is called DNA as Bridge to Nature and Spirituality. It regards DNA technology beyond its utilitarian purpose as keepers of information, but rather as a mediator of human interactions with non-human entities. Participants imagined that human desires to be closer to nature and spirits could be met by harnessing the material qualities of DNA. In Family Tree, for example, families store their cherished memories encoded in synthetic DNA, which is then embedded into a piece of tree branch that is subsequently grafted onto a literal living family tree. The compatibility of DNA to exist in living organisms is seen as a form of an emotional investment for families to be tied to their surrounding nature, as their memories are closely intertwined with the trees. A fictional prayer ritual called Uploadua is another example that demonstrates the special qualities of DNA being harnessed to facilitate spiritual expressions. It involves recording of mass prayers in digital audio format, which is subsequently encoded in DNA and dissolved in holy water. Given the ability of DNA to pack high density of data, it's seen as a religious tool to send powerful messages to God. Third and the last theme is called Fears of the Biodigital Divide. The concepts and discussions that support this theme suggest participants' concerns about potential divisions that may be created within societies, resulting from unequal access to the technology. In terms of design opportunities that our findings show, one of the opportunities for HCI would be to design for intangible interactions. In interaction design, there is a growing sentiment and desire to make invisible things visible. DNA is no different. In recent years, a growing number of artists and interaction designers have strived to translate the DNA into bigger molecules called proteins that could be detected via the human senses of touch, smell, taste, and sight. But as the Imaginaries have shown, that it doesn't always have to be that way, and that we could still derive enjoyment and meaning from interacting with DNA on intangible levels, whether it would be with the DNA on their own or the translation of it through the virtual world. If we consider moving beyond human-centric designs, concepts such as family tree highlight opportunities that would broaden the scope for existing interactive systems that are designed to sustain human relationship with the natural world. Also, the distinct material and materiality of DNA could be harnessed to provide spiritual user experiences that may not be achievable through the digital means. Participants' fears of the biodigital divide adds urgency towards ensuring that future DNA-based systems that are created in a way that is open and accessible. Furthermore, it needs to foster the use of the system that is meaningful and socially sustainable, in other words, the quality of its access. In HCI, design interventions to improve quality of access to systems have been increasingly explored. Some of such interventions have included designing systems that embody feminist values, improve transparency of data flow, and ensuring data safety and privacy. And as a relatively recent addition, DNA-based systems could also extend the scope for design in this way. Given the biological entanglement of DNA data storage, HCI practitioners may need to partner with synthetic biologists and bioethicists in order to ensure that the biodigital systems achieve similar quality of access expected in informatics design in HCI. In conclusion, as we navigate the imaginaries generated by the participants, who were invited to form grander speculations on possible features of the technology, we found an initial set of opportunities and challenges for HCI. These included a possibility of extending the scope for interactive biodesign by introducing the concept of intangibility of DNA as a framework towards user experiences. We've also found that the distinct material and materiality of DNA would open up alternative design spaces to help human connections to more than human entities. In contrast, cautionary tales have indicated participants' fears of the so-called biodigital divide, further highlighting the imperative for closer coalitions across disciplines to ensure adequate understanding of the technology and high quality of its access. And we hope to continue exploring the technology through inclusive design featuring across diverse demographics of thinkers and imaginers.